Why is Sean head? Remember that question from today? Yeah. Remember that one? Yeah.
Moose's head.
So anyway, you know, it's a roast of Sean, and so I actually prepared some stuff tonight. But you know what? I don't want to be, you know, roast. You're supposed to be like rude. You're supposed to be, you know, maybe dirty, lowbrow, and I'm not going to do any of that. I don't really have that much information about Sean. I just whatever. I just filled up this entire book. That's it. That's it. Just what's in this book. But you know, like I was thinking about Sean, and I was like, God, what am I gonna talk about Sean, you know? And so I was like thinking, and when you're thinking, you know, you get anxious and you have to use the restroom and stuff. So like, so I went to use this. I'm like, what am I gonna talk about Sean? How am I gonna roast on Sean, you know? And so I went in there and I had a number one, and I pulled out what I thought was my stubby American penis. And I looked down, and it wasn't. It was actually Sean's thumb. Hey, Sean, show everyone your thumbs. Yeah. It looks just like a penis. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. So, and you know, like, you know, so like it's, you know. Anyway, so, you know, also about the thumbs. Has anyone read the Dr. Seuss book Horton Hears a Who? Like, okay, no one else notices. Like, Horton is an elephant, right? He's an elephant, and he has this flower that blows off in the wind, and there's a whole planet on this flower where the Who's live, and only he can hear them, you know. And he's like, "There's Who's here. There's Who's here." No one. I feel like Horton and Sean's thumb is the Who plant, because I'm like, look at the thumbs. They're so special. They're so special. Yeah, they're very, very special. They're like the Who's. Yeah, you know. Sean is a Superman. Really, he does everything here, and you know, he's organized this room of people in here week after week, and then in the bilingual improv group, and he's in like Shanghai movies, and he's also takes time to go to Turkey, and he goes back to Chicago, and you know, and he also he helped coach a brand new improv group which performed here last week. They were awesome, +1, yes, and plug for them. And you know, you're like, wow, how can he do this? How can he do this? Well, you see, Sean has a secret. He is a 吃软饭 man. 吃软饭. Now that is okay. The thing is, the 吃软饭. For those of you who don't know, in Chinese translate to Chinglish to eat soft rice, man. Now, eat soft rice. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. But like, well, this implies that behind Sean, this means that, wait a second, you know, he's being supported by a woman. A woman. Wait a second, that's right. It's not just Sean. And you know, yeah, a lot of people don't know that Sean's married because they rarely ever see his wife. Actually, you know why they don't know why he's married? Sean sometimes doesn't even know that he's married. That's right. You know, like because where his wife's name, she's a lovely woman. She really is. And I'm only doing this for you, Val. Like, her name is Val, and she's sitting in here somewhere. I'm not gonna point to her because that's rude. Pointing is rude at women. So you know, and so you know, like you know, Val is like most people's husbands, wives, they're like together a lot, you know, like, you know, they have lunch, dinner together. I'm like, well, Sean, what are you doing for lunch today? Let's go eat some donkey burgers, you know. He's like, okay, sure, yeah. And like, where's Val? He's like, oh, she's in Iceland. Yeah. What's she doing? She's stopping an eruption. Oh, okay. You know, next time. Okay, well, that's fine. Maybe you know, next week for dinner. No, she's going to Akron, Ohio, and she's stopping a train wreck that she's foreseen in the future. You know, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? You know, so like, yeah, she's never around, and you know, then when she is around, it's like, well, she's here, but it's like, whoa, oh, Val's here. Don't talk. She's on conference call. It's like always conference call. It's like conference call. Like Sean is in there, you know, chopping onions and vegetables and carrots, and he's baking a cake. He's a great baker. He spends a lot of time baking. I'm like, oh, and what's Val doing? There's a conference call in there. You look at, you know, she's making coffee and doing a conference call at the same time. You know, and then she's like going to work, you know, drinking the coffee and doing a conference call at the same time. Actually, the other night, I've been having a lot more dreams recently, and I'm like, wait a second, that dream I had last night, that wasn't my dream. That Val actually conference dreamed me. She gave me a conference dream. I'm like, I'm having Val's dreams, like her conference calls ever. So the thing is, like, the thing is about Sean and his wife is that they're completely opposite. They're really opposite in a lot of ways, except for their hair. They both have really curly hair, right? So, which is like, it's gonna be really easy for Sean if like Val has kids and for him to know that, oh, this is not my son. What the hell is the straight hair doing on this boy or girl? You know? So, you know, but anyway, where was I going? Where was I going? Oh, straight hair, straight. Oh yeah, very different in different ways, you know. And so, you know, Sean is like Santa Claus. He loves Christmas and he loves giving to people. He gives a lot of things. And I'm not saying that Val likes taking, but anyway, so you know, even at our party, you know, he dressed as Santa Claus and he took all the time to like wear a suit where its Christmas songs were really coming out of his butt. Like they really were. They were like with an iPad on his butt. Yeah, it's true. That is true. So, but the thing is, another reason why they're really different is because Sean, you know, he'll say he's really nice to everyone, pretty nice. He won't say bad things about people, you know. Whereas like, so it's like, oh, Sean, what do you think about this guy? You know, like, or it's like, oh yeah, this guy, he's probably, you know, got a nice grandmother and everything. You know, like that's a nice thing. You know, like that's as bad as okay. And then you know, like you're like Val, like I love asking Val's opinion because you know, like Val, like, it's like, Val does not look like Skeletor. She does not look, but it's like talking to Skeletor because Skeletor is the enemy of He-Man, right? So, like, looks like a skull. She does not. She's a beautiful woman. But it's like you get the bone truth. You get, like, I feel like she is reflecting my deep, inner, dark thoughts. So you're like, Sean, what do you think about this guy? And he's like, oh, yeah, nice grandmother. And you ask Val, like, well, what about this guy? He's like, that guy's a fucking pretentious prick and he needs to be dicked over pretty soon and I'm gonna be the one that doesn't. You know, something like that. You know? And then you're like, Sean, what about this girl? It's like, oh, she has nice dresses and she can use her brain, you know? So, like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice to say. And then, and you're like, Val, what about this girl? And she's like, when that bitch dies, I'm gonna shit on her grave and I'm gonna like it, you know? I'm like, oh yeah, Val. You know, which I'm really nervous, like, I've never asked Val what she thinks about me, you know? Like, I'm not gonna do that. But like, no, really. So the thing is, where was I? Here. Oh, so yeah, you know, like the brutal honesty, you know. And I would love to, like, in a weird way, I would like to be in the future. I would be willing to be their slave, like live-in slave. You know, this sounds weird, but. You know, I'm not into, you know, but anyway, yeah, it's not that weird actually. Everything's perfectly fine. But because like it's like you would have, you know, you get in this really cool cycle. Like Sean is like Val would come in and she'd beat me or she would tell me what to do and like I wouldn't even have to think about it, you know. And then Sean would come in and he would say, oh, it's okay, you know, like he would be like good cop, bad cop, good master, bad master type stuff, you know. Yeah. Anyways, so you know, but like I feel like Val, like she knows what I want. She knows what everyone wants, you know, and like you know, just looking at you curling that hair, it's one of those things he does, yeah. And so I love you, yeah. So and like she knows what I want, like even if I don't have the balls to admit it. And which brings us to another point, balls. So now, like let's talk about this for a second. So you know how the Jedis, or in Star Wars, there's this thing called the Force, right? The Force is within us all, right? The Force is controlling everything. Well, I feel like, you know, like, I feel like Val, like, has these, I'll call them Force balls. She has Force balls, like these big Force balls, and they're like she, and I'm like, this is where it gets a little weird. So yeah. So like, and I'm like, oh, now I know why why it's like this. She has like the control. She has the power. Val has the power. So I know why she's going to like all these different countries, not really doing all these missions, but because like in China, they can't drain the force from her balls. And so she has to go to other countries. I would be talking like this to a mirror if you were not here. So right now, I don't know what I'm saying. So, but anyway, but what really worries me is that what's gonna happen, like, if I go up to Val and I'm like, Val, what do you think about this guy? And I'm like, she's gonna say something bad. She's like, oh, yeah, that guy's pretty nice. I'm like, oh, well, I gotta ask Sean then. Like, and I'm like, Sean actually loves the death penalty. It's true. Yeah. But I'm like, Sean, what do you think about this guy? And Sean's like, that guy can suck your thumbs. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I love you guys.
Thank you for informing us when it was going to get weird. We're very sure otherwise.